Welcome to Digimon.
Hello and welcome to Digimon, and welcome to yet another video on the channel. If you're liking this content, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell so you're not missing out on any of the latest content. I thought I'd do a couple of different things this week, as I've got a lot of stuff to edit for Jank Tank still. So no profiles, no matches. Instead we've got some other things, though funnily enough, this video took a lot longer to do than I thought it would. So a like, a subscribe, and a ding and the notification bell would be very much appreciated, if possible. But anyways, so going into what we're talking about today, we're talking about the new reveals from ST20. So well, I say the reveals, the leaks I should say. You know, we've had Bandai have said that they're bringing out a new couple of structure decks, one revolving around War Greymon and one revolving around Metal Garurumon, and both decks will essentially have the kind of angels in them as well, which is very interesting. They're kind of going off of that whole, you know, the scene in the anime where they both get shot with the arrows, and then you know, Agumon and Gabumon warp Digivolve into War Greymon and Metal Garurumon respectively. So because I'm a bit of a Greymon stan, I wanted to have a look and see if I could come up with some custom cards, which is not something I've done before, and see if, well, whether or not they're going to be anything like what we're going to get. I doubt they will be. I think what I've got in my head for how to fit angels and dragons together essentially works very differently to what Bandai is thinking. But you know, we're going to take a look. We're going to have a gander and go through it. The only thing I haven't done is I haven't created an egg, because I couldn't find any templates for eggs, which was really annoying. But it would probably be something along the lines of like, give a 2-color red Digimon blocker, or give a Digimon with 2 colors blocker, or something like that. I don't know, but you know, something like that is what I would think for the Koromon, just so you're not relying on the BT12 tie as much, because the main things I kind of went with is I wanted kind of a synergy between Tai and Kari. So this is kind of where I've kind of thought things through. So the first card we're going to look at is what I've come up with for Agumon. And obviously bear in mind, I'm not exactly a card game designer, so these aren't the best looking. I will put it to you. But you know, this is what I've come up with. So we've got Agumon first of all. He's a 3-cost, 1000 DP Digimon that costs 1 on a level 2, but Digivolves for 0 on top of a Koromon specifically. So I haven't done Salamon for this, but Salamon would probably be something that would cost 1 on top of anything, and then obviously would be 0 on top of the Arrowmon, so there is that kind of issue in the deck. But essentially, on play for the Agumon is reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 red card with 2 or more colours or Greymon in its name, and 1 Tamer with Tamer in its name. So it's a searcher for both your Tamer as well as your kind of 2-color Digimon, well, 2-color cards I should say, and or your Greymons. So it can add quite a lot. I think that the thing that Greymon's always struggled with is that consistency. You know, so it's always been kind of an issue. So I thought we'd do that, try and give that a go. You very well could have gone, you know, maybe add just 1 red card with Greymon in its name or something like that, or you know, could have fused those 2 effects together. But by doing this, this will actually allow us to search not only kind of double Tamers if we need to, which could be cool, because red yellow card, you know, obviously we're not going to go fully into everything that we've done just yet, because we're going to go through it bit by bit, but yeah, it just helps with the consistency and everything. Then I've got the inheritable of on deletion you may hatch in your empty breeding area, which I'll kind of explain why that is, but it's kind of a reference to the anime is why I've given that on deletion. You know, plus it can work quite well with some of our kind of Digimon and some of our effects. Then it's going to skip on through to Greymon. So we'll take a look at the Greymon line stuff first, and then well, I'll save War Greymon for last because he's, you know, the big boy. But we'll do the others. Then got Greymon. So I basically just did this one in line with the current kind of string of kind of Tamer players. So if you have 1 or fewer Tamers in play, you may also play 1 Tamer card with Tamer in its name. But I also added, if that Tamer has Kari in its name, draw 1. So pretty cool, and it's on play. It's when Digivolving, because that's something that a lot of the Greymon stuff doesn't have, is on play when Digivolving. It's always just when Digivolvings. So I thought I'd change it to an on play. It's a cost 6, so you're not likely to do that, but I thought I'd just add that on there. It also has the same inheritable as the BT12, which is this Digimon gains 1000 DP all turns. I was tempted to bump that up to like 2k, but I thought that would be a bit too much. Let me know in the comments if you think that would be too much. I mean, we spent a lot of time talking in the chat balancing these cards out. I originally made some of these cards busted because I got way too excited. So that's what I've come up for Greymon. He's still red black, and he's chilling at 5 DP. Then we've got Metal Greymon. So Metal Greymon takes a couple of different influences. He takes influences from BT12 Metal Greymon and also influences from BT14 Skull Greymon. So he's 7000 DP, cost 8, Evos for 4 or 3 on top of a Greymon. He's got Raid inherently. Then all turns, when an attack target is switched, you may play one Agumon from your hand. If no Digimon was played by this effect, this Digimon gains 3000 DP and piercing. So if you don't have an Agumon in hand, you then get your 3000 DP and piercing. So it becomes a 10k body, potentially up to 11 or even higher, depending on what inheritables you've managed to give him. Then he's also got a non-deletion effect of when this Digimon would be deleted, and if you have a Tamer with Tamer in its name in play, you may play one Agumon from your hand or trash, then give that Digimon Rush. So that is literally verbatim the same effect as the Skull Greymon from BT14. It's just on a Digimon that's kind of a little bit easier in terms of consistency because it's red-black. You know, we're easier for searching that than the Skull Greymon. You know, offense training, for example, can search this, whereas they can't search Skull Greymon. Then the all turns effect, when this Digimon would delete a Digimon by battle, you may trash the top card of your opponent's security, which I thought would be pretty cool. Give a little bit of battle deletion. You could very well change this to, you know, when an attack target is switched, something like that. You know, you could also do that as well. But I figured actually kind of physically having to beat something over would probably be the more balanced way to go with that. So, but I thought that'd be pretty cool, having some more kind of trashing capability in the deck. Let's move on to before we hit to kind of tamers and options and stuff like that. We'll have a look at the kind of the Gatomon and then Angelwoman that I've come up with. So the Gatomon is on play when Digivolving. If a Tamer with Kari Kamiya in its name is in play, one of your opponent's Digimon loses minus 3000 DP and gains security stat -1 until the end of your opponent's turn. If a Tamer with Tai Kamiya is in its name is in play, draw 1. Which I thought would be pretty good. You know, I think that's pretty cool effect. I think that helps with your consistency. It helps with stalling them out. You've also got a security effect on this as well, because I thought that'd be quite in line with some of the Gatomon stuff from previously. If this Digimon is trashed from security by battle or effect, you may play this Digimon. So technically speaking, it would say the wording probably should be after a battle, play this Digimon by effect. You know, and then the separate effect should be if this Digimon is trashed from security, you know, play this Digimon. And maybe having both effects on there is probably a bit too OP. But at the same time, you know, I think it's kind of a retrain. You could easily just swap them out or, you know, change them up. Then all turns, this Digimon gains Barrier as the inheritable. So giving Barrier to Greymon, the very first War Greymon that I made in this had Barrier inherently, and ended up kind of getting rid of it because I thought it was busted. But having it as an inheritable, I think, is okay. Then going to Angelwoman. So cost 4 on a red or a yellow, because I made this a red-yellow Angelwoman. Level 4 with Gatomon in name, cost for 3. On play when Digivolving, you may Digivolve one of your Digimon into a Digimon with Dragon or Angel in its traits, with the cost reduced by 1. So I wanted to keep that Angel support as well. You know, Dragon as well. Dragon is within Dragonkin for War Greymon, and Dragon is within Holy Dragon or Four Great Dragons, if you want to be technical, for Magnadramon. So I figured that would be quite cool for that kind of synergy. If played by an effect, you may Digivolve one of your Digimon into a Digimon with Dragon or Angel in its traits, ignoring level requirements, and for the cost of 4. Ignore the random spacing on the for the cost of 4 there. It originally said something else and I didn't like it, so I got rid of it. Then give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 4000 DP. So it helps with removal, but the main thing is going to be, if you play this by an effect, you can then kind of essentially warp Digivolve something into anything. So it doesn't have to be Agumon. It doesn't have to be anything, you know, but you can probably do the Agumon. Ideally, it is going to be the Agumon, as you'll see with one of the combo cards we've got in this. But it's pretty cool. Then all turns once per turn as the inheritable. When an attack target is switched, one of your opponent's Digimon loses -4 KDP until the end of the opponent's turn. Originally, I had that as recovery +1. Which Beardy Dan pointed out to me is freaking busted. That is so busted. In fact, I'm pretty sure everyone put that into the chat that was freaking busted. So changed it to -4 DP. Kind of works better with the raiding anyway. And the reason I'd gone for the recovery thing is because originally on the War Greymon I had you could trash your own effect to essentially gain immunity, but decided that was too busted, so got rid of it. Let's now go into the Tamer. So we've got Tai Kamiya and Kari Kamiya. Start of your turn, if you have 2 or less memories, set your memory to 3. This costs 5 to play this Tamer, by the way. All turns, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a red Digimon with 2 or more colours, gain 1 memory. Granted, the digivolving on their turn probably won't come up, so maybe it should have just been a your turn effect. But yeah, it's cool. You never know. Aces could be a thing. Pretty cool. All turns, when a Digimon with Agumon in its name is played, by returning this Tamer to the hand, you may place 1 level 4 red Digimon card and 1 level 5 red Digimon card as its bottom Digivolution cards. So you can return this Tamer to hand and put stuff underneath one of your Agumon when it's played. And it's not necessarily played by effects. I've just put played just to kind of, make that a bit more of an interesting effect, because you can bounce this, and it's any level 4 red, any level 5 red, so you could also put this under, like, you put the Angelwoman underneath. You don't have to put the Greymon stuff, so I thought that'd be pretty interesting. Next, we've got the option card, which I've called Crest of Courage, Arrow of Light. So main effect, costs 5 this one. Main, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Tai Kamiya and Kari Kamiya in its name, then place this card in your battle area. Then all turns, when a Digimon with Agumon in its name is played, delay, and again, not necessarily played by effects, just played, you may play 1 Angelwoman from your hand or trash without paying the cost. Then until the end of the next turn, give the Agumon that triggered this effect, end of all turns, delete this Digimon. So this is where this reference comes in. In the anime, whenever War Greymon would be, using up all of his energy, he would revert back to Koromon. So he did that in the Machine Dramon fight. He did that quite a few times. In fact, in general in the anime, they revert back a lot to previous kind of forms, sometimes all the way to eggs. So by deleting the Digimon, you trigger the Agumon inheritable to hatch something in your breeding area. So you then essentially revert your War Greymon into a Koromon. And with the Angelwoman being played out by an effect, you then get to warp the Agumon into a War Greymon. Which I thought would be pretty cool. The only thing is it kind of needs Rush to actually work, and the guys told me that was bad. So you've got the undeletion from the Metal Greymon to give Rush, so there is that. But that's the only source of Rush. So possibly, if it were up to me, I would put Rush on more things in this. But in the sake of fairness, we didn't do that. So, let me know if we need more Rush in these card designs. Then we move on to the final pieces of the puzzle, which is the War Greymon. And I came up with 3 in the end. I'm going to first go over the red-yellow one I came up with. So all of these are dual colour. And all of them, essentially the idea of the War Greymon here is that it adopts the colour of Angelwoman, so it adapts the light, essentially, is what I was thinking. So in all of these instances, it has a typical Greymon colour and then a Angelwoman colour. One of them technically isn't an Angelwoman colour, but you could very much make it an Angelwoman colour. So let's go over the red-yellow first one. So he's got Raid, inherently. Digivolves for 5 on top of a Greymon in name or on top of a red-yellow, so he's pretty costly. When Digivolving, if a Tamer with Tai Kamiya is in play, this Digimon gains Piercing for the turn. If a Tamer with Kari Kamiya is in play, all of your opponent's Digimon lose -6000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. Then this Digimon may attack. So essentially it's kind of a retrain on the BT12 and the BT14 ones. You've got the Raid inherently, you gain Piercing, but it also has this kind of Valkyrymon kind of effect where it kind of blankets -6 DP onto the opponent's board, which I thought would be really cool. Granted, until the end of your opponent's turn might be a bit busted, so you might want to change it to or I might want to change it. I'm saying this like Bandai's going to change it. I'm not designing their cuts. I wish. You could essentially kind of change it from end of your opponent's turn to end of your turn, just to make that a little bit more fair. Obviously, you could also, if you manage to do this on the turn, I mean, say if you decided to make this an ace, I don't think you would, but you know, for example, or if you manage to do that on deletion effect on your opponent's turn, so your Metal Greymon got deleted on your opponent's turn, play out the Yogomon, trigger the delay of the Arrow of Light, play out the Angelomon, warp into War Greymon, boom, -6. That, which I think would be a really cool combo. But then we've also got an all turns effect on this as well. When an attack target switched, you may unsuspend this Digimon, so it's very reminiscent of the BT12 one. But I've also added, if this effect does not unsuspend, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So essentially, essentially, you know, you can swing in, you can do your raid, you do the attack target switch. If you choose not to unsuspend, you trash a security, then you beat over that Digimon, and if you've got the Metal Greymon inheritable, you trash another security and do piercing, which I thought would be really cool. And granted, that does seem pretty OP, but obviously bearing in mind, if you're doing all of that off of that kind of effect with the delay card, this Digimon would be getting deleted. Also, it's got no inherent immunity as well, so it could still be removed off the board. So I think that's pretty cool. Then we've got kind of a red-purple one. So you could very much make the Angelomon and all the Gatomon stuff kind of purple-yellow instead, which would also make them fit with Mastemon, which would be really cool. I did want to do that myself, but I also kind of thought to myself, well, if you make Angelomon purple-yellow, then essentially you could just have 2 copies of Angelomon in a Mastemon deck that you could then DNA to Mastemon, which does not make sense to me. But you know, it's still something you could do. I haven't bothered to make purple versions of the Gatomon and Angelomon, but you know, they'd be basically the same, just purple. But this guy, he's almost exactly the same as the previous one, the red-yellow one, so the same all turns effect, and half of his when Digivolving effect is the same. The only bit that's different is, instead of doing the -6k, he does, if a Tamer of Karikamira is in play, delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon or Tamers, and then this Digimon may attack. So it does a bit of removal on your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, and I put all Tamers on there mainly so that if you were in a position where they only had one Digimon out, you could at least choose something else to delete instead of, you know, so you could still do your raid shenanigans. Then the last one is, funny enough, this is the first one of these 3 I actually created, but this one's also kind of the most wacky. So this is a black and yellow War Greymon instead of the red. You'll actually notice this used to be a red card because there is a little bit of a red border on it. But I essentially created this one, and then went, hang on, what if we could make, you know, instead of you know, we can search this off of that Agumon anyway because it's got Greymon in name. So what if we just went black and yellow? What if we give it the yellow colour from the Angelomon, which also is a colour that it used to have, and then also make it non-red, so it's not necessarily stepping on Shine Greymon's toes, or in the case of the red-purple one, stepping on Ancient Greymon's toes. This way, it's kind of doing its own thing, you know, not counting like Etamons or, you know, Numamons or basically any of those, you know. But you know, we've got this in here, so does the same Digivolution cost, same kind of in all around there. It's got Reboot and Blocker, which potentially could be really good with the inheritable effect of the barrier as well. It's got a when this Digimon would be trashed from security, activated security effect, which I thought would be really cool. So this does have security effects. When Digivolving, if a Tamer with Taikamira in its name is in play, Digivolve to one of your opponent's Digimon. If a Tamer with Karikamira is in play, all your opponent's Digimon lose -6k, so I kept that effect there. Then this Digimon may attack an opponent's Digimon or the opponent, so you can kind of essentially get a pseudo raid and a pseudo blitz, you know, which I thought would be cool. Then all turns, when this Digimon would be deleted, add this Digimon to the top of your security, and the reason why is because you've then got a security effect of Digivolve to one of your opponent's Digimon, then delete a Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less. If no Digimon was deleted, add this card to your hand. So I thought that'd be really cool, have this kind of security manipulation, because obviously you know, a lot of Angelomon is more about kind of security manipulation, so I was thinking along those kind of lines. Is it kind of weird as a Greymon card? Yeah. Is it kind of interesting as a Greymon card? Also, yeah. So I kind of like that. Now you will notice that none of these War Greymons have had an inheritable. I think I made all 3 of these too powerful, because anytime I had the inheritable effects on them, the guys all were just like, no, you can't have an inheritable effect on these guys, Josh. They're too strong. And they're absolutely right. So I think the idea with Bandai and what they're doing is they're looking to kind of you know, kind of put those decks together essentially to create more support for Omnimon. So you would need some sort of inheritable effect. I was thinking along the lines of maybe you could, if it was this kind of black and yellow one, it could be like you place a War Greymon into your security so that you prevent yourself from leaving play, and then it also puts this guy in security, which would be cool. You know, or you could like remove a Metal Garurumon from your stack, for example, something like that. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what exactly Bandai's going to do with these cards, and when, you know, as well, because it's probably going to be sometime next year, let's be honest. But so it's a long way off. I don't even know how many people are going to watch this. I mean, based on views last week, not many people are watching at the moment. So I'm hoping that'll boost up eventually. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about these custom cards, guys, and whether or not you guys want any more custom cards from us. I know after discussing this in the chat, Alex is having a look at the Garurumon structure deck to come up with some ideas of his own, which I think would be really cool. And just kind of going through these different kind of you know, theory videos essentially. Join us later in the week as well, because we'll be taking a look at some of the BT 18 to 19 special booster stuff as well. I was originally going to cover that stuff first, but then I kind of got swept away with doing far too much on this, so I figured I'd do all this first instead anyway. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and ding that notification bell if you're liking a more casual video like this, where it's just me just chatting to the camera and talking about some funky theories. You know, feel free to let me know. You know, likewise, if there's anything you guys do like or don't like about this channel, let me know, because I would very much like to cater to our audience and do stuff that you guys want us to do. But anyways, I digress. I've got more work to do, so I best log off for the time being, and we'll see you again on the next video. But until then, keep it digital.